still a relatively local event for the most part until you get to the highest levels. As Ireland coming in now, Isaiah the Sandman Santiago comes in at 5'7", 145 pounds, 19 years old, out of Team Chaos in Gillette, Wyoming, with a 5-3 record. This is the men's 145-pound title fight presented by Legendary Tattoo. He will be taking on Theron Martin, also at 145 pounds, 5'9", record of 7-0 rather. Only 18 years of age, out of Great Falls, the Wolfpack Gym.
Let's see, a second fighter out of Team Chaos in Gillette, Wyoming. First fighter tonight, Austin Carson, lost to Mikey Maniac Zindler out of the Grindhouse. No shame in that. Fantastic fighters coming out of the Grindhouse. But let's see if Isaiah the Sandman Santiago can't come in here and get a win for his team.
Jeff Hoiby over there checking the fighters' gloves, making sure that everything is on the up and up. So Zach Obra will be the referee for this one again this evening, as he is in the ring right now. The two of them kind of switching off, each of them doing some of the fights. Well, why do they do that? Why are there two referees here and they kind of switch off like that?
You know, these referees are right on top of the action. They're running around with the fighters. They're keeping their eyes dialed in. This is a difficult thing to do over and over and over again. It's great to have different refs. It's great to be able to take a little break so you can really focus on each fight.
And both these guys very experienced in MMA, both former fighters and now refereeing. And Jeff Hoiby, also the head of the Washington sanctioning body. So this, of course, for the first time in the history of the state of Montana, an MMA fight that is officially sanctioned. The results will go up on MMA.com, and that's certainly an exciting thing for all these guys and gals that do come out here and put it on the line when there are
fighting
events.
Out of the red corner, Theron Martin.
And speaking of that, Dave, Zach Unruh, fantastic MMA fighter. His knowledge of different martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, his knowledge of the broad sport, the mixed martial arts, the multiple pieces that come together to form this sport, makes him a fantastic ref. Having fought before, having been in it, having competed in the pro level and the amateur level, fantastic ref. And let me just say, a fantastic job done by Fusion Fight League tonight, putting on this show, putting on the first ever sanctioned event, sanctioned MMA fight in Montana. I mean, my hat's off to them. They are taking this sport, in Montana to another level. Flying fighters in from all over the world, all over the nation. From Greg Jackson's MMA, where John Bones Jones trains out of, Donald Cerrone, some of the biggest names in the sport are coming out of. He's bringing these top level fighters out here.
Your Fusion Fight girl for this fight, Kristen, to the cage, accompanied by Lindsay with the belts, because this is the 145-pound title fight tonight.
And all high class. Everything here is done top notch. If you're watching this on the live stream, you need to come to a live event, because they have pulled out all the stops. Fusion Fight League has done an excellent job. Theron Martin over here, 7-0, Dave. Coming in here with a lot of confidence, an undefeated record, some good wins.
Well, you do sort of wonder when you come in like that, the nature of MMA, especially at the very local level, it's difficult to gauge unless you know who all of those 7 were. What does that 7 really mean?
This fight tonight brought to you by Legendary Tattoo and Cameron. Cameron at Legendary can create all styles and all types of tattoos. Custom design your idea, as well as he can reproduce an existing design you have. Also, cover-ups and rework. So stop by and check out Cameron at Legendary Tattoo, 406 Grand, right across from Senior High School. So big thank you to Legendary Tattoo for bringing you the 145-pound title fight tonight. Fighting out of the blue corner, representing Team Chaos from Gillette, Wyoming, with a record of 5-3, 145 pounds, 5 feet 7 inches tall. It's Isaiah the Sandman Santiago. And fighting out of the red corner, representing Team Wolfpack from Great Falls, Montana, with an undefeated 7-0 record, 145 pounds, 5 feet 8 inches tall. It's Theron Martin.
And Dave, I'll tell you what that 7-0 record does bring. It brings a question mark that has not been answered yet, which is, how do you beat this kid?
Right.
Can you submit him? Do you take him to the ground? Do you knock him out? Do you strike with him? You know, the thing is, as little as we may know, that what we do know is that he has not been beat yet. So we don't know, you know, where his strengths are, where his weaknesses are. I guess we're going to find out.
Well, with a record of 7-0, at some level, whatever weaknesses there are, they must not be very many.
And Santiago looks ready to go,
yes,
man.
The
look on his face, he is ready to fight, and stone cold over from Theron Martin. You know, no emotion in his face, and they kick it off, and they go right after it, Dave.
Santiago lands a couple of shots there early, and Martin clearly wanting to get Santiago on the ground. A little bit interesting. He actually does have a little bit of a reach advantage, so you would sort of expect that he would be the one who wanted to remain upright, not get him on the ground, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, you know, closing the distance right away, going into that wrestling, which I said, you know, Gillette has some great wrestling over there. And a big double dump from Isaiah Santiago, the Sandman.
Martin back up off the ground
and
now.
Springs up like a kangaroo.
Yeah, he just popped right up off the ground, trying to get his leg hooked there. But again, we see those knees that you may not be able to see it real well at home, but they do end up counting. And we saw it in the last fight. Sometimes they do go to the decision, and the activity that you have is going to impact how the judges score the fight.
Absolutely, and you know, no lack of experience. You know, no lack of technical ability here. These guys are going for it in the right way. And Santiago pulls guard, something I didn't expect coming out with the strong wrestling, the strong control of the cage. He pulls guard, so maybe we're going to see a different wrinkle in his game here from the bottom.
And Martin on top now. Not a lot of shots being landed either way. Now we see a little bit more activity from Martin. He is on top, but those legs are wrapped around him. So one of the idiosyncrasies of MMA, just because you're on the bottom doesn't necessarily mean you're in a less advantageous position.
I tell you what, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Helio Gracie, you know, Jiu-Jitsu showed us that you can fight from any position, you can stop it from any position. You know, MMA, if you haven't looked into the history, you need to look into the history. You need to look up Helio Gracie, Helio Gracie. Okay, you're gonna see this guy, 130 pounds soaking wet, and he's choking guys who are 250. So Isaiah Santiago fighting off his back and showcasing his jiu-jitsu, but Theron Martin,
he's landing a lot more shots, and they're a little bit difficult to see from our angle because Martin's got his back to us, but he has had Santiago on the ground for some time, and he is absolutely landing some nasty shots in there that will take their toll.
Landing some shots, not letting Isaiah Santiago set much up. He's putting his head against the cage. He's keeping him tight. Santiago trying to work that leg out for a triangle, and he stops. You know, showing him, letting him know, hey, I'm ready to fight on top too.
But you can see Santiago landing some shots there, and obviously, you know, when you're in close proximity like that, you don't need to throw them from very far. They're not the haymakers necessarily that they might be if you were standing in the center of the ring, but they are landing, and some of them are going right to Martin.
10 seconds.
And Theron Martin kind of stealing it around with this top. You know, Santiago pulls guard. It finds out that was a bit of a mistake.
And there's the other thing.
That is round one in the 145-pound title fight presented by Legendary Tattoo.
But I think that's the other thing that's 7
for putting on a great show, great fighters. A lot of people out there still thinking that these MMA fighters are guys off the street, you know, street fighting, that kind of thing. Tell you what, these are mixed martial artists. They know respect. They know honor, and no lack of sportsmanship between these two.
Well, at 18 and 19 years old, these two. So, you got to figure, Theron Martin at 18 years old with 7 fights already under his belt, he's doing something. This isn't just, Theron went down to the bar last night and, asked somebody if they wanted to come in and take some lumps in the cage.
Oh, no, and I tell you what, these guys just fought a hard 3-minute round. Not a deep breath is taken by either one of these two right now. They're ready to fight. They are focused. They are in it. They're in it mentally. They're in it physically. These two are great athletes. These two are top-notch fighters, top-caliber fighters at Fusion Fight League. Round 2.
They come out the center of the ring once again. Martin and Santiago dancing just a little bit here early on in the round. A lot of punishment inflicted both ways in that first round. So I'm sure both of these guys trying to figure out where their advantage lies so they can take advantage.
Oh, some big shots landed by Santiago. But Martin stays calm, he stays in it. A bit of a question mark kick coming from Theron Martin, and a big double. Pulls himself right in the mouth, though.
And back on the ground once again as Martin back on top, but Santiago has him wrapped up, trying to get...
And in a bad spot, you can see him wrapping him up here. He's just holding him on top of him here. He needs to be putting his hands in the hips. He needs to be shucking out. He needs to be shrimping and trying to escape the mount position. The mount position's not going to do him any favors from Theron Martin.
And Martin landing some shots there. The referees told him before the fight, shots, as long as you can get ear with your glove, you're probably okay, and that's going to be a legal shot. As Martin now getting up and absolutely starting to hammer away.
Working for the finish, taking the back. Santiago gives up his back. Let's see if that proves advantageous for him. Never a good idea to give up your back, and it looks like
Santiago trying to get an armbar. It looked like.
I can't quite see if he has a. He does. He's got a body triangle set up. Puts tremendous pressure on the midsection. Santiago is in a very bad spot here with Martin on his back. And he's working in. He's got the arm under, but he's working that choke. He's working that body triangle. Tremendous amount of pressure. Realize that Santiago is in a very uncomfortable position here, but defending well, not giving up his neck, keeping his chin down, but that body triangle is a problem.
Martin almost got his arms caught there. Did manage to get them out, and he is back on top trying to figure out a way to land some punches. You cannot punch to the back of the head. You've got to get some ear there, and he's having a little bit of trouble doing that, as Santiago's still trying to get that armbar, but he's not been able to do so thus far.
Yep, some great jiu-jitsu shown by Theron Martin, taking the back, setting up that arm triangle. Oh, and Santiago, explosive, man, takes over. Just spins around, takes the top position, and that's how fast, a fight can change positions. Now Santiago on top. We'll see what Theron Martin has to offer from his back. Armbar set up, and he finishes!
That's the fight.
Theron Martin finishes with a slick armbar on Santiago. Nice finish.
And Santiago, for a minute there, it looked like was kind of gaining the advantage and had him flipped over the other way, but that's the thing. You got to be very careful how you do that. Because you can, it's one of the funny things about MMA is it's very difficult to tell watching it on television until you've watched a lot of it.
All right, let's get the fighters to the center of the cage, please. Fighters to the center of the cage.
Shout out to Great Falls Wolfpack, an excellent
right.
trained fighter. And
ladies and gentlemen, your winner in this fight, brought to you by Legendary Tattoo and the new 145-pound champion by armbar, fighting out of the red corner, Theron Martin.
Great win for Theron Martin.
Theron, as a champ, do you have anything to say?
Thank you, Billings. You guys this is an amazing town. I love it here. Fusion Fight League, such an amazing fight promotion. I love this. Can't wait to come back and do this again.
Do you guys want to see him back? Give it up for Theron Martin right here, everybody. Your new champ at 145 pounds.